Good afternoon. Today I would like to read a little bit to you from my addiction book. And I don't have any place that I pegged. I figured I just open the book and see where it takes us. This book is very special to me. It's the first book I have ever written. And it's on a topic that's very dear to my heart. Well, looks like we ended up with Violet's story. It's kind of in the middle of her story, but that's all right. Violet also worked with Native Alaskan populations for about 15 years. She tells me this was more proof in the pudding that when people get targeted, labeled, alienated, abused, displaced, and come away from the goodness of the fabric of their cultures and families, things get more challenging, and people tend to move toward addictions. Providing culturally appropriate and meaningful care is profoundly important. She became really aware of the disparity in care that was available for Native people. This also goes for other areas as well, especially when we talk about rural communities. Violet tells me that if someone needs mental health services, it might or might not be there. That was the same experience that I had. If a person needs substance abuse services, insurance may or may not cover it. People need to choose what to do. They move to a new place, leave home, family, job, or they can get back to treatment and come back to the same environment. Or do they sit tight and stay under the thumb of addiction, legal issues, and crime? Violet describes that part of her work becomes transferring skills and identifying areas in people's lives that are working. It is not all a loss, even with substance abuse. She said, man, if you deal drugs, you got some serious skills, including building community, networking, math, understanding timing of business and organization. And if someone can transfer these skills into a healthier goal, legal or more productive, they don't have to start over. No matter what life experience you had, you have skills. You can go on in this life. They can use their life experiences and build on them. Great examples of some of the stories in this book. Kevin's and Doug's story. Yes, they were. They worked hard and they turned their lives around. Violet adds, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. People make mistakes and they can pull from it, learn from it, be resilient, and move forward in a meaningful way. Why not recommend the work of Brené Brown on shame and vulnerability? In substance abuse, shame is a huge piece. If you're an addict, you're a felon, you're a criminal, you're an abuser, all these labels that we can slap on people who are having problems creates shame that attacks the identity of the person. Violet adds. It hits people in their core. It makes them feel stuck and they don't know how they can change now. Violet's advice. Instead of I am a mistake, have a healthy sense of guilt that I made a mistake. And don't we all, as humans, make mistakes, right? She tells me about a separation of people, feeling that they make a choice and that was a mistake versus the feeling that they are a mistake. Violet tells me more about Brené Brown's work and positive thoughts instead of social judgment. All of this sounds familiar to the findings that are collected in this book, based on people's stories and experiences. Judgment is a huge piece, and it is everywhere. If we could just stop judging, right? Violet told me about pieces of our lives and how we can pick them up and restore them despite of whatever mistakes we make. There's mosquitoes out here to bite me. Sorry about that. We are a forest of old and new growth, and all of us have some pieces of our past that are not so green and not so beautiful. I had talked and met so many people in my life who had done some horrible things in their past, and now they are beautiful pastures growing at young trees that are not just beautiful for themselves, but also support others when their forest is in a dark place. So it's just one part of one story in my book that I wanted to share. And I just randomly opened the book somewhere, and this is something I might do on and off now with my books, just to share a little piece of it, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for being here with me today and listening to my story and listening to Violet's story as we talk about addiction. May your day be joyful and beautiful. Until I see you next time. Gabriella signing off.